Heretics, Studies in Medieval English Social History, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Harvey, S. 1988. Domesday England, pages 45 to 136 in J. Thirsk, editor, The Agrarian History of England and Wales. Volume 2, 1042 to 1350. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Hatcher, J. 1977. Plague, Population, and the English Economy, 1348 to 1530. Macmillan, London. Hatcher, J. 1996. The Great Slump of the Mid-15th Century, pages 237 to 72 in R. Britnell and J. Hatcher, editors, Progress and Problems in Medieval England, Essays in Honour of Edward Miller, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Hatcher, J. and M. Bailey, 2001. Modelling the Middle Ages, the History and Theory of England's Economic Development, Oxford University Press, Oxford. Heel, F. and C. Holmes. 1994. The Gentry of England and Wales, Stanford University Press, Stanford, California. Henneman, J.B. 1996. Olivier de Clisson and Political Society of France under Charles V and Charles VI, University of Pennsylvania Press, Philadelphia. Henneman, J.B. 1999. France in the Middle Ages, pages 101 to 22 in R. Bonney, editor, The Rise of the Fiscal State in Europe, circa 1200 to 1815. Oxford University Press, Oxford. Herberstein, S. 1988. Notes on Muscovy, Zapiski o Moscovi. Publishing House of Moscow University, Moscow. Hill, C. 1982. The Century of Revolution, 1603 to 1714. W. W. Norton, New York. Hilton, R. H. 1966. A Medieval Society, the West Midlands at the End of the 13th Century. Weidenfeld and Nicholson, London. R. E. F. E. R. E. N. C. E. S. C. I. T. E. D. 326. Hilton, R. H. 1985. Introduction. Pages 1 to 9 in T. H. Aston and C. H. E. Philpin, editors. The Brenner Debate, Agrarian Class Structure and Economic Development in Pre-Industrial Europe. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Hobsbawm, E. J. 1962. The Age of Revolution, 1789 to 1848. New American Library, New York. Hollingsworth, T. H. 1964. The Demography of the British Peerage. Population Studies, Supplement 2, 18. Hollingsworth, T. H. 1969. Historical Demography. Cornell University Press, Ithaca, New York. Hopkins, K. 1978. Conquerors and Slaves, Sociological Studies in Roman History. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Hopkins, K. 1983. Death and Renewal, Sociological Studies in Roman History. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Hoskins, W. G. 1976. The Age of Plunder, King Henry's England, 1500 to 1547. Longman, London. Christophorov, I.A. 2002. The Aristocratic Opposition to the Great Reforms, the End of 1850s, Mid-1870s, Aristokraticheskaya Opozicja Velikim Reformom. Konec Tisiace Deviatosti Seredina Tisiace Semnatsatosti. Rusko Slovo, Moscow. Hughes, A. 1991. The Causes of the English Civil War. St. Martin's Press, New York. Ibn Khaldun, 1958. The Muqaddimah, An Introduction to History. Translated from the Arabic by Franz Rosenthal, Pantheon Books, New York. Ilisch.1980. Münzfunde und Geldumlauf in Westfalen in Mittelalter und Neuzeit. Aschendorf, Münster. Inayatullah, S. 1997. Ibn Khaldun, The Strengthening and Weakening of Asabia. Pages 25 to 32 in J. Galtung and S. Inayatullah. Editors, Macrohistory and Macrohistorians. Prager, Westport, Connecticut. Indova, East India, 1964. The Palace Economy in Russia, the first half of the 18th century. Dvorcovoe Hozyaistvo v Rossi, Pervaya Polovina Xivtiait Veka. Nauka, Moscow, Irvine, F. 1979. Social Structure, Social Mobility and Social Change in 16th Century Montpellier. PhD thesis, University of Toronto. Eatonberg, B.S., 1965. Revolutionary Populist Movement, Dvizhenie Rewolucyonnego Narodnictwa. Nauka, Moscow. Ivina, L.I. 1985. Internal colonization in Russia of the 16th century, Vnutrene osvojení zemel v Rosji v 16. wieku. Nauka, Leningrad. Izyumova, S.A., 1959. On the history of leather and shoe manufacture in Novgorod the Great, ka historii koževenog I sapožnog masterstva Novgoroda Velikogo. Materiály I isledovania po archeológii SSSR 65, 122 až 223. Jessop A 1892. The Coming of the Friars, Putnam, New York, Johnson, A.W. and T. Earl, 2000. The Evolution of Human Societies, From Foraging Group to Agrarian State, 2nd edition. Stanford University Press, Stanford, California. Jones, W.R.D., 1973. The Mid-Tudor Crisis, 1539 to 1563. Barnes & Noble, New York. Jongman, W. 1988. The Economy and Society of Pompeii. Gieben, Amsterdam. Jongman, W. 2003. Slavery and the Growth of Rome, The Transformation of Italy in the 2nd and 1st centuries BCE. Pages 100 to 122 in C. Edwards and G. Wolfe, editors, Rome the Cosmopolis, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. REFERENCESCITED 327. Kabuzan VM 1963. Population of Russia in the 18th first half of the 19th centuries. Narodna naselenie Rossi v 60. Pervoi polovin 19. Varf. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Kabuzan, VM 1971. The Dynamics of Population Distribution in Russia in the 18th first half of the 19th centuries. Izmenenia v rozmieszczeniu naselenia Rosji w 61. polovinie 19. wieku. Nauka, Moscow, Kabuzan, VM and SM Troicki. 1971. Dynamika liczb, relatywny waga I dystrybucja szlachty w Rosji w 1782 do 1851. Izmenenia w Kislenpsti, udelnom wese I rozmieszczeniu dworianstwa w Rosji w 1782 do 1851. Historia SSSR 4153-59. Keuper R.W. 1988. War, Justice and Public Order, England and France in the Later Middle Ages. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Kalman, H. 1971. The Iron Century, Social Change in Europe in 1550 to 1660. Weidenfeld and Nicholson, London. Kamensky, A.B., 1999. From Peter V to Paul V, Reforms in Russia in the 18th Century, Od Petra do Pavla Fez, Reformy v Rossi I Svinie Veka. Russian State University for the Humanities, Moscow, Kanzaka, J. 2002. Villain Rents in 13th Century England. An Analysis of the 100 Rolls of 1279 to 1280. Economic History Review 55, 593 to 618. Katkov, G.M., 1997. The February Revolution, Fevralskaya Revoluция. Ruski Put, Moscow. Keane, D. 2001. London from the post-Roman period to 1300. Pages 187 to 216 in D.M. Pallister, editor, The Cambridge Urban History of Britain, Volume 1, 600 to 1540. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Keep, J.L.H. 1963. The Rise of Social Democracy in Russia, Clarendon Press, Oxford, Kerridge, E. 1953. The Movement of Rent, 1540 to 1640. Economic History Review 616 to 34. King, E. 1779. England, 1175 to 1425. Charles Scribner's Sons, New York. King, P. 1971. The development of the English economy to 1750. MacDonald and Evans, London. Кирьянов, Ю. В 1993. Массовые демонстрации, вызванные высокими ценами в России. 1914. Февраль 1917 года. Отечественная история 3. 318. Kaiser E. and A. Linton. 2001. Determinants of the growth of the state. War and taxation in early modern France and England. Social forces 8411-48. Kishlansky, M. 1997. A monarchy transformed. Britain 1603-1714. Penguin, New York. Kliuchevsky, VO 991. Relations by foreigners on the Musovite state. Сказания иностранцев о московском государстве. Prometei, Moscow. Knecht, R.J. 2001. The Rise and Fall of Renaissance France, 1483 to 1610, 2nd edition. Blackwell, Oxford. Kobrin, V.B. 1980. The Establishment of the Palmistry System. Исторические записки 105, 150, 195. Koepke, N. and J. Barton. 2005. The Biological Standard of Living in Europe During the Last 2 Millennia. European Review of Economic History, 961 to 95. Kokovtsov, V.N. 1992. From My Past, Memoirs, Volume 2, 1903-1919. Из моего прошлого мемуары, том 1, 1903-1919 годы. Наука, Moscow, REFERENCESCITED 328. Kolesnikov, SP 1907. Северная деревня в 15 веке, северная деревня в 15 второй половине 9 веке. Северо-западное издательство, Vologda. Coleman, N.S. 1999. By Honor Bound, State and Society in Early Modern Russia. Cornell University Press, Ithaca, New York. Kolecheva, E.I. 1987. Agrarian Formation of Russia in the 16th Century. Agrarny Story, Rossi, 16th Veka. Moscow. Komlos, J. 1990. Nutrition, Population Growth, and the Industrial Revolution in England. Social Science History, 14:69-91. Kondratev, N.D., 1991. The Grain Market and its Regulation During the War and Revolution. Rynok Chlebov I Ego Regulirovanie vo vremia Vojny I Revolucji. Nauka, Moscow. Kondratiev, N. 1984. The Long Wave Cycle. Richardson and Snyder, New York. Konecki, V.Y. Tishiak, 9. Ka истории сельского расселения в долин реки Лovat в эпоху Средневековья in Novgorod and Novgorodskaya Zemlya. Novgorod. Konovalov, A.A. 1966. Periodization of Novgorod birch scrolls and the evolution of their content in Russian. Soviet Archaeology 2:62. Kopanev, A.I. 1959. The population of the Russian state in the 16th century. Население русского государства в 19. Исторические записки 64, 23 44. Корелин, А.П. 1999. The Nobility in Post-Reform Russia, 1861-1914. Dvorянство в пореформенной России, 1061, 94999. Nauka, Moscow. Koretsky, V. 1970. Peasant Enserfment and Class Struggle in Russia, Закрепощение крестьян и классовая борьба в России. Nauka, Moscow. Koretsky, V. 1975. Formation of Serfdom and the First Peasant War in Russia. Формирование крепостного права и первая крестьянская война в России. Nauka, Moscow. Korotаев, A. S. Malkov, and D.R. Khalturina. 2005. The Laws of History. Mathematical Modeling of Historical Macroprocesses. Demography, Economics, and Wars. Законы истории. Математическое моделирование исторических макропроцессов. Демография, экономика, войны. Komkniga, Moscow, Kosminski, A.A., 1956. Studies in the Agrarian History of England in the 13th Century, Oxford University Press, Oxford. Kovalchenko, ID 1959. The Dynamics of Agrarian Production in Russia during the first half of the 19th Century, Dynamika urovnia zemledelcheskogo proizvodstva v Rosji v prvoj polovině 19. veka. Historia SSSR 1 čas 3386. Kovalchenko I de 1907. Russian Enserfed Peasantry in the first half of the 19th century. Ruskoje krepostnoje křesťanstvo v prvoj polovině 19. wieku. Publishing House of Moscow University, Moscow. Kovalchenko, ID, and L.V. Milov. 1974. The All-Russian Agrarian Market. The 18th beginning of the 19th centuries. Всероссийский аграрный рынок XVII. Начало XX века. Nauka, Moscow. Kryžanik, Yuri. 1997. Politics, Politica. Novi Svet, Moscow. Labattu, Jean-Pierre, 1972. Les ducs et pairs de France au XVIIe siècle. Presse universitaire de France, Paris. Lander, J.R., 1976. Crown and Nobility, 1450 to 1509. McGill Queen's University Press, Montreal. Langdon, J. and J. Maschel. 2006. Commercial Activity and Population Growth in Medieval England. Past and Present, 190:35-81. Leglay, M., J. L. Voisin, Y. Le Bohec, and D. Cherry. 1997, A History of Rome. Blackwell, Oxford. REFERENCESCITED 329. Leroy Ladurie, E. 1974. The Peasants of Languedoc, University of Illinois Press, Urbana. Leroy Ladurie, E. 1987. The French Peasantry, 1450 to 1660. University of California Press, Berkeley and Los Angeles. Leroy Ladurie, E. 1994. The Royal French State, 1460 a 1610. Blackwell, Oxford. Leroy Ladurie, E. and J. Goy. 1982. Tithe and Agrarian History from the 14th to the 19th centuries. An Essay in Comparative History. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Lee, J. S., 1931. The Periodic Recurrence of Internecine Wars in China. The China Journal, March-April, 111-63. Lee, R. D., 1986. Malthus and Boserup, A Dynamic Synthesis. In D. Coleman and R. S. Schofield, editors, The State of Population Theory, forward from Malthus. Blackwell, Oxford. Lekina Svirskaya, V.R. 1971. The Intelligentsia in Russia during the second half of the 19th century. Intelligentsia v Rosji vo vtoroj polovině 19. veka. Miesel, Moscow. Leonov, M.I. 1987. The Numbers and Composition of the Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1905 and 1917. Číslenost I sostav partii eserov v 1905 I 1917 godach. Pages 49 to 95 in P. P. Korelin, editor, Political Parties of Russia in the Revolutionary Period, 1905 to 1917, a quantitative analysis. Politicheski Party Rosji v Period Revolution, see 1905 to 1907, GG, Kolechestveni Analyz. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Levit T. 1991. Agricultural Productivity in the Roman Economy AD 200 to 400. Tempus Reparatum, Oxford, UK. Leberov, IP, and S. D. Rudachenko. 1990. Revolution and Bread. Revolutia I Kleb. Meisel, Moscow. Lee, RSK 2002. Alternative Routes to State Breakdown, Towards an Integrated Model of Territorial Disintegration. Sociological Theory 21 to 23, Lindert, P.H. and J. G. Williamson, 1982, Revising England's Social Tables, 1688 to 1812. Explorations in Economic History, 19385 to 408. Litwak, BG 1967. A Statistical Investigation of the Peasant Movement in Russia of the 19th Century, Opyt statystycznego izuczenia chrześcijańskiego dwiżenia w Rosji XIX wieku. Nauka, Moscow. Locastio e 1994. The Size of the Roman Population. Beloch and the Meaning of Augustan Census Figures. Journal of Roman Studies, 84, 23-40. Lodes, D.M., 1999. Politics and the Nation. England, 1450-1660. Blackwell, Oxford. Lorsin, MT 1974. Les campagnes de la région lyonnaise au XIVe et XVe siècle. Imprimerie Bosque, Lyon. Lorsin, M. T. 1981. Vivre et mourir en lyonnais à la fin du Moyen Âge. Édition du CNRS, Paris. Lozinski, A.E., éditor. 1918. The 1917 Grain Harvest in Russia, urodzaj chlebów w Rosji w 1917 roku. Izdatelstwo Moskowskiego Oblastnego Prodowolstwenego Komiteta, Moskow, Lurie, US 1994. Two Histories of Rus in the 15th Century, Early and Late Independent and Official Chronicles on the Formation of the Muscovite State, Dwie historii Rusji 15 weka, ranie i pozdnie nezawisimie i oficjalnie letopisy of obrazowani Moskowskiego Gospodarstwa, Dmitry Bulanin, Street Petersburg, REFERENCESCITED 330. Makunovich, DJ 2002. Birthquake, The Baby Boom and Its Aftershocks. University of Chicago Press, Chicago. Madge, S.J., 1938. The Domesday of Crown Lands, a study of the legislation, surveys and sales of royal estates under the Commonwealth. Routledge, London. Major, J.R., 1981. Noble Income, Inflation, and the Wars of Religion in France. American Historical Review, 86, 21-48. Major, J.R., 1993. From Renaissance Monarchy to Absolute Monarchy. Johns Hopkins University Press, Baltimore. Malthus, T.R., 1798. An Essay on the Principle of Population. J. Johnson, London. Mankov, A.G., 1951. Prices and their movements in the Russian state during the 16th century. Ceny I ich dwiżenie w Ruskom Gosudarstwie XVI weka. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow and Leningrad. Matusiak, J. 2005. Mid-Tudor England, Years of Trauma and Survival. History Review 52-31-36. McEvedy, C. and R. Jones. 1978. Atlas of World Population History. Facts on File, New York. McFarlane, K.B. 1973. The Nobility of Later Medieval England. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Mertes, K. 1988. The English Noble Household, 1250-1600. Blackwell, Oxford. Merton, R.K. 1968. The Matthew Effect in Science. Science 159, 56-63. Meskill, J., editor, 1965. The Pattern of Chinese History. Cycles, Development or Stagnation, D.C., Heath, Lexington, Massachusetts. Milyukov, P.N., 1990. Memoirs. Volume 1, Vospominania, Tom A. Sovremennik, Moscow. Miller, D. 1989. Monumental building as indicator of economic trends in northern Russes in the later Kievan and Mongol periods, 1138 to 1462. American Historical Review, 9360-90. Miller, E. and J. Hatcher, Nitten Sutito, Medieval England, Rural Society and Economic Change, 1086-1348. Longman, London. Milov, L.V. 1998. The Great Russian Plowman and the Peculiarities of the Russane Historical Process. Velikoruski Pahar I osobennosti Ruskogo Historicheskogo Procesa. Rospan, Moscow. Minge, G. E. 1976. The Gentry, The Rise and Fall of a Ruling Class. Longman, London. Mironov, B. N. 1985. Grain prices in Russia in the 17th and 18th centuries. Chlebnie ceny wyrosły za 2 stulecia, 17 Nauka, Leningrad. Mironov, BN 1985, In Search of Hidden Information. Social Science History, 9:339-59, Mironov, BN 1990, The Russian Town in 1740 to 1860. Demographic, Social and Economic Comparisons, Ruski Gorod Vai 1740 to 1860, Demograficheskoe, Socialnoye I Ekonomicheskoe Razvitie, Nauka, Leningrad. Mironov, BN 1992. Consequences of the Price Revolution in 18th Century Russia. Economic History Review. 45, 457 to 78. Mironov, BN 2000. A Social History of Imperial Russia, 1700 to 1917. Westview Press, Boulder, Colorado. Mironov, BN 2002. A fed horse is a champ, a hungry one is an orphan. Nutrition, Health and Population Growth in Russia during the second half of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century. Sitkon, Bogatyr, Golodin, Sirota, Pitanie, Zdorowie I rost naselenia Rosji второй половины 19. Nachala 20. века. Otechestvenaja Historia 230 to 43. REF RNC SCIT ed 331. Mironov, BN 2004. The anthropometric approach to the study of the well-being of the Russian population in the 18th century. Anthropometryczny pod exod k izucheniu blagosotojania Rosji w XVIII wiek. Otechestvenaja Historia 617 to 30. Mitchell, R.E. 1990. Patricians and Plebeians, The Origin of the Roman State. Cornell University Press, Ithaca, New York. Moorman, J. R. H. 1946. Church Life in England in the 13th Century. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, UK. Morley, N. 1996. Metropolis and Hinterland. The City of Rome and the Italian Economy. 200 BC AD 200. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Morley, N. 2001. The Transformation of Italy. 225 to 28 BC Journal of Roman Studies. 91, 50 to 62. Morris, I. 2005. The Collapse and Regeneration of Complex Society in Greece. 1500 to 500 BC. Princeton Stanford Working Papers in Classics, Working Paper Number 12051, version 1.0, December 2005. Princeton University, Princeton, New Jersey. Morris, R. 1979. Cathedrals and Abbeys of England and Wales, The Building Church, 600 to 1540. W. W. Norton, New York. Mortimer, R. 1994. Angevin, England, 1154 a 1258. Blackwell, Oxford. Mougel, F. 1771. La fortune des princes de Bourbon-Conti, revenus et gestion, 1655 à 1791. Revue d'histoire moderne et contemporaine, 18h30 à 49. Nachalo. 1955. The beginning of the First Russian Revolution, January-March 1905. Nachalo pervoi Ruskoi revolucji, Janvar mart 1995 goda. Moscow. Nefedov, S.A. 2006. 1905. Revolution in the Context of Westernization. 1905 God, Revolucja w kontekście westernizacji. Uralski Historicheski, Westnik, 1535 to 46. Nefedov, S. 1999. The Method of Demographic Cycles in a Study of Socio-Economic History of Pre-Industrial Society in Russian. PhD dissertation, Ekaterinburg University, Ekaterinburg, Russia. Nefedov, S.A. 2002. On the Demographic Cycles in the History of the Medieval Russia. O demograficznych cyklach w historii średniowiekowej Rosji. Clio 3. 193 do 204. Nefedov, S.A. 203. On the feasibility of applying the demographic structural theory to the study of Russian history during the 16th century. O возможности и применения структурно-демографической теории при изучении истории России XVI века. Отечественная история 5. 6372. Nefedov S.A. 205. A demographic structural analysis of the socio-economic history of Russia. Demografický strukturní analýz sociálno-ekonomickej histórii Rosy. UGGU, Ekaterinburg, Russia. Nifontov A. 973. Grain production in Russia in the second half of the 19th century. Zernovoje proizvodstvo v Rosii vo vtoroj polovine 19. veka. Nauka, Moscow. Nikolsky, P1910. The Kirillo-Belozersky Monastery and its organization in the second quarter of the 17th century. Kirillo-Belozersky monastir i jego ustrojstvo vo vtoroj, četvrti, 17. veka. Volume 1, number. Vtoraja synodálna typografia, Street. Petersburg. Nohejlova Pratova, E 1955. Nalezy minci v Cechách, na Morave a ve Slezsku. Československá akademie věd, Prague. Novoselsky, A.L. 1945. Economic conditions of runaway peasants in the south of the Muscovite state in the first half of the 17th century. Kávo prosu ob ekonomičeskom sostojání beglik z kresťan na juge moskovského gosударства v prvoj polovine 17. veka. Historické zapisky od 1640 do 49. RF, RNC, SCITED 332. Obuhov V. M. 965. The dynamics of grain harvests in European Russia between 1883 and 1915. Dviženie urožajev zernových kultur ve Evropejskoj Rosii v period od 8,95 do 9,95 godov. Pages 1 to 160 in V.G. Groman editor. The influence of crop failures on people's economy of Russia. Vlianie neurožajev na národné hozjajstvo Rosii. Institut ekonomiky, Moscow. Oldenburg, SS 1992. The reign of Emperor Nicholas II, Carstvovanie imperatora Nikolia II. Terra Moscow. Olearius, A. 1980. Description of travels in Muscovy, Opisanie putešestvia v Moskoviu. Pages 287 to 470 in Jew. A. Limonov, editor, Russia in the Eyes of Foreign Heirs. Rossiya glazami inostrancev. Lenizdat, Leningrad. Orléans, 1980. La noblesse aux états généraux de 1576 et de 1588. Presse universitaire de France, Paris. Ormrod, W.M. 1990. The Reign of Edward III. Crown and Political Society in England, 1327 to 1377. Yale University Press, New Haven, Connecticut. Ormrod, W.M. 1999. England in the Middle Ages. Pages 19 to 52 in R. Bonney, editor, The Rise of the Fiscal State in Europe, circa 1200 to 1815. Oxford University Press, Oxford. Overton, M. 1996. Agricultural Revolution in England, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Painter, S. 1943. Studies in the History of the English Feudal Barony, Johns Hopkins University Press, Baltimore. Palitzin, A. 1955. The Legend of Avrami Palitzin, Skazanie Avrama Palitzina. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow and Leningrad, Parsons, J. 2005. Population Control and Politics. Population and Environment 12355-77. Pearl R. and L. J. Reed, 1920. On the rate of growth of the population of the United States since 1790 and its mathematical representation. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the USA, 6275 to 88. Peasant History, 1990. History of the Peasantry of the USSR from Ancient Times to the Great October Socialist Revolution. Volume Vtoraja, Historia kresťanstva SSSR z drevnejších vremen do Veľkej Oktyabrsky socialistickej revolúcii. Nauka, Moscow. Peasant History, 1994. History of the Peasantry of Northwestern Russia. Historia kresťanstva Severo-Zapada Rossi. Nauka, St. Petersburg. Peroy, East, 1962. Social mobility among the French noblesse in the later Middle Ages. Past and present 2125 to 38. Peroy E. 1965, The 100 Years' War, Capricorn, New York, Phelps Brown E. H. and S. Hopkins, 1955, 7 Centuries of Building Wages, Economica 22, Fithian Adams, C. 1979, Desolation of a City, Coventry and the Urban Crisis of the Late Middle Ages, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Planhole, Exeter, 1994, An Historical Geography of France, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Pogrebinski, A.P., 1953, The History of Finances of Pre-Revolutionary Russia, Ocerki Historii Finansov do Rewolucyonnoj Rosji, Gosvinisdat, Moscow, Pokrovsky, S.A., 1947, External Trade and External Trade Politics of Russia, Внешняя торговля и внешняя торговая политика России, Международная книга, Moscow, Pollard, A.J. 2000, Late Medieval England, 1399 to 1509, Longman, Harlow, UK, REF, ER, Ian, CESC, Ed 333, Poos, L. 2004, Rural Society After the Black Death, Essex 1350 to 1525, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Poos, L.R. 1985, The Rural Population of Essex in the Later Middle Ages, Economic History Review 38, 515 to 30, Popper, K.R. 1957, The Poverty of Historicism, Routledge and Kegan Paul, London, Poston, M.M. 1966, Medieval Agrarian Society in its Prime, England, in M.M. Poston, editor, Cambridge Economic History, Volume 1, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Poston, M.M. 1973. Essays on Medieval Agriculture and General Problems of the Medieval Economy, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Poston, M.M. and J. Hatcher, 1985, Population and Class Relations in Feudal Society, pages 64 to 78 in T. H. Aston and C. H. E. Philpin, editors, The Brenner Debate, Agrarian Class Structure and Economic Development in Pre-Industrial Europe, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge, Powick, M.R. 1962, Military Obligation in Medieval England, Oxford University Press, Oxford, Prokopeva, L.S., 1967, The Grain Budget of a Peasant Household in Belozersky region in the middle of the 16th century, Chlebný budżet chrześcijańskiego hozjajstwa Belozerskiego kraja w seredinie XVI, pages 99 to 110 in N. E. Nosov, editor, The Peasantry and Class Struggle in Feudal Russia, Chrześcijaństwo i klasowa borba w feudalnej Rosji, Nauka, Leningrad, Prokopovich, S.N. 1907, The Agrarian Question in Numbers, Agrarny Vopros v Cifrax, Общественная Polza, Street, Petersburg, Pew, T.B., 1972, The Magnates, Knights and Gentry, pages 86 to 128 in S.B. Grimes, C.D. Ross and R.A. Griffiths, editors, 15th Century England, 1399 to 1509, Manchester University Press, Manchester, UK, Pushkareva, I.M. 1975, Russian railroad workers in the bourgeois democratic revolutions, Железнодорожники России v bourgeoisno-demokratických revolucjach, Nauka, Moscow, Raflaub, K.A., editor, 1986, Social Struggles in Archaic Rome, New Perspectives on the Conflict of Orders, University of California Press, Berkeley and Los Angeles, Raben, S. 2000, England under Edward I and Edward II, 1259 to 1327, Blackwell, Oxford, Rabochi, 1981, The Working Class in the First Russian Revolution of 1905 to 1907, Rabochi Class, P. Первой Российской революции 1905 до 1970 годов, Nauka, Moscow, Rahmatullin, M.R. 990, The Peasant Movement in the Great Russian Provinces in 1826 to 1857, Kresťanské движение v великорусских губерниях в 1826 до 1857, Nauka, Moscow, Ramsey,
J.H. 1925. A History of the Revenues of the Kings of England, 1066 to 1399. Oxford University Press, Oxford. Rushin, A.G. 1956. Russian population over 100 years. Naselenie Rossi za 100 let. Kostatizdat, Moscow Read, F. 1996. Centennial for Windows. Clockwork Software Incorporated, Chicago. Reinhard, M.R. A. Armangaud and G. Dupaquier. 1968. Histoire générale de la population mondiale. Édition Montchrestien, Paris. Reischauer, E.O. 1960. The Dynastic Cycle, pages 114 to 18 in E.O. Reischauer and J.K. Fairbank, editors. East Asia, The Great Tradition. Houghton Mifflin, Boston. REFERENCESCITED 334.
Ryazanovsky, N.V. 2000. A History of Russia, 6th edition. Oxford University Press, New York. Ricardo D. 1817. On the Principles of Political Economy and Taxation. John Murray, London. Richardson, L. 1992. A New Topographical Dictionary of Ancient Rome. Johns Hopkins University Press, Baltimore. Robbins, R.G. 1975. Famine in Russia, 1891 to 1892. Columbia University Press, New York. Robertson, A.S. 2000. An Inventory of Romano-British Coin Hoards. Royal Numismatic Society Special Publication 20, London. Roche, 1967. Apers, Us sur la fortune et les revenus des princes de Conde à l'aube du XVIIIe siècle. Revue d'histoire moderne et contemporaine, 14 216 à 43. Romano, R. 1967. I prezzi in Europe dal XIII secolo a oggi. Giulio Einaudi, Torino. Rosenstein, N. 2002. Marriage and Manpower in the Hannibalic War. Assidui, Proletari and Levi, 24.1, 8.728. Historia 51. 163 to 91 families, and death in the Middle Republic. University of North Carolina Press, Chapel Hill, Rostow, W.W. 1990. The Stages of Economic Growth, a Non-Communist Manifesto, Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Roth, R. 2001. Homicide in Early Modern England, 1549 to 1800. The Need for a Quantitative Synthesis. Crime, History and Societies, 533 to 67. Rubinstein, N.L., 1957. The Agrarian Economy in Russia in the Second Half of the 18th Century. Selskoe hozjajstvo Rosji vo vtoroj polovine 19. veka. Gospoli, Tizdat, Moscow. Russell, C. 1990. The Causes of the English Civil War. Oxford University Press, Oxford. Russell, J.C. 1948. British Medieval Population. University of New Mexico Press, Albuquerque. Sala, R. 2000. Status and Patronage. Pages 817 to 54 in A.K. Bowman, P. Garnsey, and D. Rathbone. Editors, The Cambridge Ancient History, 2nd edition. Volume 11. Cambridge University Press, New York. Salmon, J.H.M., 1976. Society in Crisis. France in the 16th Century. St. Martin's Press, New York. Saul, North, 1981. Knights and Esquires. The Gloucestershire Gentry in the 14th Century. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Schalk, E. 1982. Ennoblement in France from 1350 to 1660. Journal of Social History, 16101 to 110. Scheidel, W., Editor. 2001. Debating Roman Demography. Brill, Leiden, The Netherlands. Scheidel, W., 2001. Progress and Problems in Roman Demography. Pages 1 to 81 in W. Scheidel, Editor, Debating Roman Demography. Brill, Leiden, The Netherlands. Scheidel, W., 2002. A Model of Demographic and Economic Change in Roman Egypt After the Antonine Plague. Journal of Roman Archaeology, 1597 to 114. Scheidel, W., 2004. Human Mobility in Roman Italy. I. The Free Population. Journal of Roman Studies, 94, 1-26. Scheidel, W. 2005. Human Mobility in Roman Italy. Second. The Slave Population. Journal of Roman Studies, 95, 64-79. REFERENCESCITED 335. Scheidel, W. 2007. A Model of Real Income Growth in Roman Italy. Historia 56, 322-46. Schlesinger, A.M.J., 1986. The Cycles of American History. Houghton Mifflin, Boston. Staden, G.O., 1925. Moscow of Ivan the Terrible. Memoirs of the German Oprichnik. O Moskve, Ivana Groznogo. Zapiski, Nemca Oprichnika. Sabashnikov, Moscow. Scott, S. and C. Duncan, J. 2001. Biology of Plagues. Evidence from Historical Populations. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Seward, D. 1978. The 100 Years' War. The English in France, 1337 to 1453. Athenaeum, New York. Shahovsky, S.I. 2001. The Liberty Union, Soyuz Osvobozdenia. Pages 526 to 602 in D.B. Pavlov, editor. The Liberal Movement in Russia, 1902 to 1905. Liberal Noe Dvizhenie v Rossi Tisyach, 92 do Tisyach, 95 godov. Rospan, Moscow. Shapiro, A.L. 1965. The Historical Role of the Peasant Wars of the 17th-18th Centuries in Russia. Ob historiczej roli chrześcijanskich wojen 17th-18th w Rosji. Historia SSSR 5, 65, 80. Shapiro, A.L. 39. The Russian Peasantry Before Serfdom, 14th-16th Centuries. Rusko Chrestianstvo pered Zakreposheniem, 1417 Vivi. Publishing House of Leningrad University, Leningrad. Shatsilo, K.F. 1976. The Zemstvo Liberal Program. Its Rise and Bankruptcy on the Eve of the First Russian Revolution, 1901-1900. Formirowanie programy zemskiego liberalizma i bankrotstwo na kanune Pierwej Ruskiej Rewolucji, 1901-1904. Historyczne zapiski dziewięcioletie 76, dziewięcioletie. Shatsilo, K.F. 1972. Historia oswoboditelnego dviżenia w Rosji w nachale 20 weka. Historia SSR 4, 50-50-57. Schatzman, I. 1975. Senatorial Wealth and Roman Politics. Latomis, Brussels. Shepukova, N.M. 1959. Changes in the relative fraction of privately owned peasants among the population of European Russia, 18th first half of 19th centuries, Izmenenie udelnego wesa czasno-wladelczeski, chrestian we sostawie naselenia europejskiej Rosji, ismejsi pierwsza połowina XIX wieku. Woprosy historii 23, 123-36. Shvatenko, OA 90 let. Lay feudal estate in Russia in the first third of the 17th century. Svetskaya feodalna wotchina Rosji w pierwszej trzeciej XVII weka. Instytut Historii ANSSR, Moscow. Sidorov, A.L. 1960. The Financial Conditions of Russia During the World War I, 1914-1917, Finansowe położenie Rosji w gody pierwszej mirowej wojny, 1914-1917. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Simeon, F. 1932. Les fluctuations économiques à longue période et la crise mondiale. Félix Alcan, Paris. Skocpol, T. 1979. States and Social Revolutions. A Comparative Analysis of France, Russia, and China. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Skrinnikov, R.G. 1975. Russia after Oprichnina, Rossia posle Oprichniny. Publishing House of Leningrad University, Leningrad. Skrinnikov, R.G. 1988. Russia at the beginning of the 17th century, the time of troubles. Rossia v начале 17 века, Smuta. Mysl, Moscow. Skrinnikov, R.G. 1996. The Great Prince Ivan Vasilievich the Terrible, Veliki Gosudar Ioan Vasilievich Grozny. Rusich, Smolensk, REFERENCESCETED 336. Sladkevich, G.H. 1962. Opposition movements of the nobility during the revolutionary situation. Pages 70 to 88 in M.V. Nechkina, editor, The Revolutionary Situation in Russia in 1859 to 1861, Rewolucjonnaja sytuacja w Rosji w 1709 do 1660 godów. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Smatina, M.V. 2003. The value system of the Russian and the Ukrainian landed gentry in the first half of the 19th century to 1861. Systema cenności великорусского I malorosyjskiego pomesnego dworianstwa w pierwszej połowie XIX do 1861 g. Pages 55 to 72 in conferences, colloquia, materials, konferencji, dyskusji, materiali. Rosyjski Uniwersytet Drużby Narodów, Moscow, Solovev U.B. 1979. The Autocracy and the Nobility in the End of the 19th Century. Samoderżawie I dworianstwo w końcu XIX wieka. Nauka, Leningrad. Soloviev, S.M. 1989. Collected Works, Sochinenia. Meisel, Moscow. Sorokin, P.A. 1937. Social and Cultural Dynamics. Volume 3. Fluctuations of Social Relation. Ships, War and Revolution. American Book Company, New York. Startsev, 1984. February 27th, 1917. 27th Fevralia, 1917 Goda. Molodaya Gvardia, Moscow. Stearns, P.N. 2001. The Encyclopedia of World History, 6th edition. Houghton Mifflin, Boston. Steckel, R.H. 2004. New Light on the Dark Ages. The remarkably tall stature of Northern European men during the medieval era. Social Science History 28, 211 to 29. Stone, L. 1965. The Crisis of Aristocracy, 1558 to 1641. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Stone, L. 1972. The Causes of the English Revolution, 1529 to 1642. Harper and Row, New York. Stone, L. 1976. Social Mobility in England, 1500 to 1700. Pages 26 to 71 in P.S. Seaver. Editor, 17th Century England. Society in an Age of Revolution. New Viewpoints, New York. Stone, L. and J.C.F. Stone. 1984. An Open Elite, England 1540 to 1880. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Story R.L. 1966. The End of the House of Lancaster. Stein and Day, New York. Sumption, J. 1991. The 100 Years' War, Trial by Battle. University of Pennsylvania Press, Philadelphia. Sweezy, P. M. Dobb, K. Takahashi, R. Hilton, C. Hill, G. Lefebvre, G. Procacci, E. Hobsbawm, and J. Merrington. 1976. The Transition from Feudalism to Capitalism. NLB, London. Taugepera, R. 1979. Size and Duration of Empires. Growth-Decline Curves, 600 BC to 600 AD. Social Science History 3, 115 to 38. Thirsk, J. Editor. 1967. The Agrarian History of England and Wales. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Thompson, J. D. A. 1956. Inventory of British Coin Hoards. A.D. 600 to 1500. Royal Numismatic Society, Oxford. Thomson, J. A. F. 1983. The Transformation of Medieval England. Longman, London. Thorold Rogers, J. E. 1862. A History of Agriculture and Prices in England, 7 volumes. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Tignor R. J. Adelman, S. Aaron, S. Kotkin, S. Marchand, G. Prakash, and M. Tsin, 2002. Worlds Together, Worlds Apart. A History of the Modern World from the Mongol Empire to the Present. W. W. Norton, New York. REFERENCESCITED 337. Tihomirov, M. N. 1962. Russia in the 16th Century. Rossia v. Shesti na Shesti Stoleti. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Tikhonov, UDA 1966. Russia in the first half of the 17th century. pages 297 to 321 in B.N. Ponomarev, editor, Istoria SSSR, volume Dusra Nauka, Moscow. Tikhonov, U. A. 1974. Privately owned peasants in Russia, the feudal rent in the 17th beginning of the 18th centuries, Pomeshchichi Krestiane, Feudalnaya renta, Vysesensi Nachale Tysieniejcefu. Nauka, Moscow, Tilly, 1993. European Revolutions, 1492 a 1992. Blackwell, Oxford. Tito, J.Z., 1961. Some Evidence of the 13th Century Population Increase. Economic History Review 14, 218 to 24. Toynbee, A.J., 1965. Hannibal's Legacy. The Hannibalic War's Effects on Roman Life. Oxford University Press, London. Troicki, S.M. 1968. Spatial Distribution of the Forms of Feudal Rent in a Large Russian Estate in the First Quarter of the 17th Century. Rajonirowanie form feudalnej renty w krupnej wotchinie Rosji w pierwszej ćwierćwieczu XVII. Pages 116 to 26 in Almanac of Agrarian History of Eastern Europe for 1968. Ежегодник по аграрной истории Восточной Европы за 1970 году. Nauka, Leningrad, Tushman, B.W., 1978. A Distant Mirror, The Calamitous 14th Century, First Edition Knopf, New York. Turchin, P. 2003, A. Complex Population Dynamics, A Theoretical Empirical Synthesis. Princeton University Press, Princeton, New Jersey. Turchin, P. 2003b. Historical Dynamics, Why States Rise and Fall. Princeton University Press, Princeton, New Jersey. Turchin, P. 2005. Dynamical Feedbacks Between Population Growth and Sociopolitical Instability in Agrarian States. Structure and Dynamics. 1.1, Article 3. Turchin, P. 2006. War and Peace and War. The Life Cycles of Imperial Nations. Pi Press, New York. Turchin, P. 2008. Modeling Periodic Waves of Integration in the Afro-Eurasian World System. Pages 163 to 91 in G. Modilsky, T. DeVesas, and W. R. Thompson. Editors, Globalization as Evolutionary Process. Modeling Global Change. Routledge, London, Turchin, P. and T. D. Hall. 2003. Spatial Synchrony Among and Within World Systems. Insights from Theoretical Ecology. Journal of World Systems Research, 937 to 64. Usher, D. 1989. The Dynastic Cycle and the Stationary State. American Economic Review 79, 1031 to 44. Usherovich, S. 1933. Executions in the Tsarist Russia. Смертные казни в царской России. Ka истории казней по политическим процессам с 1824 по 1917 год. Общество политкаторсан и сильнопоселенцев Kharkov. Utkin, R. I. 1976. The Forgotten Tragedy. Russia in World War I. Zabitaya tragedia. Rosja v Первой мировой войне. Rusich, Smolensk, Utkin, A. I. 1987. The Numbers and Composition of RSDRP in 1905 to 1907. K. Voprosu of Численности и Составе, RSDRP и 1909 Pyatom Godov. Pages 8 to 26 in A. P. Korolin, editor, Political Parties of Russia during the Revolution of 1905 to 1907, a quantitative analysis. Polityczne partii Rosji w period rewolucji 95-97 года. Koliczeczenny analiz. Instytut Historii SSSR, Moskau. REF, ERENC, ESCITED 338. Vale MGA, 1986. Seigneurial Fortification and Private War in Later Medieval Gascony. Pages 133 to 49 in M. Jones. Editor, Gentry and Lesser Nobility in Late Medieval Europe. St. Martin's Press, New York. Valuev, A.P. 1958. Internal Conditions of Russia, o Vnutrenem Sostoyani, Rossi. Исторический Archiv 1-141-43. Valuev, A.P. 1961. The Diary of P.A. Valuev, Minister of Internal Affairs, 1861 to 1864. Dnevnik P.A. Valueva, Minister of Vnutrenih Del, 1861 to 1864. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moscow. Waszyński, W.M. 1963. Handel zbożowy na południu państwa moskiewskiego w drugiej połowie XVII wieku. Chlebnaja torgowlia na juge Moskowskiego Gospodarstwa во второй половине XVII weka. Uchenie zapiski Moskowskiego Oblastnego Pedagogicznego Instytuta 127-330. Waszyński, W.M. 1983. The Agrarian Economy in the Black Earth region of Russia in the 17th century. Selskoe hozjajstwo w czernozemnym centre Rosji w XVII wieku. Wygipiai, Woroneż. Weselowski, S. 1916. Zosznoe pismo. Volume Dusra, Moskau. Wodarski, Ja E. 1966. The Numbers and Distribution of Russian Tradespeople in the Second Half of the 17th Century. Численность и размещение посадского населения в России во второй половине XVII века. Pages 271 to 96 in V. E. Shunkov, editor, Villages of Feudal Russia. Goroda Feodalnoi, Rosji. Nauka, Moscow. Wodarski, Ja E. 1973. The population of Russia over 400 years, 16th century, beginning of 20th century. Naselenie Rosji za 400 let. 16 wek начало 20 weka. Prosvещение, Moscow. Wodarski, Ja E. 1977. The population of Russia from the end of the 17th century to the beginning of 18th century. Naselenie Rosji w konce 17 начале 17 weka. Nauka, Moscow. Wodarski, Ja E. 1988. Noble landownership in Russia in the 17th, first half of the 19th centuries. Dworianskoe zemlewladenie w Rosji 17, pierwszej połowiny XIX wieku. Nauka, Moscow. Volkov, S.I. 1959. The peasants of the crown properties in the Moscow region in the middle of the 18th century. Krestiane dworcowic wladeni Podmoskovia w seredinie XVII weka. 30 do 70 godziny. Publishing House of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Moskau. Von Ungarn Sternberg, Jahr 1986. Das Ende des Konflikts der Orden. Pages 353 to 77 in K.A. Raflaub. Editor, Social Struggles in Archaic Rome. New Perspectives on the Conflict of the Orders. University of California Press, Berkeley and Los Angeles. Vorobev, Phi M. and A.Ja. Degtyarev. 1986. Rosyjskie feudalne własność ziemi od czasu smutnego czasu do końca petrowskich reform, Ruskoe, zemlewladenie od smut, nogo vremeni do końca petrowskich reform. Publishing House of Leningrad University, Leningrad. Ward, A.M., F.M. Heichelheim, and C.A. Yeo, 2003, A History of the Roman People, 4th edition. Prentice Hall, Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. Warmington, A.R., 1997. Civil War, Interregnum and Restoration in Gloucestershire. Boydell Press, Woodbridge, Suffolk, UK. Weary, W.A., 1977. The House of La Tremoille, 15th through 18th centuries. Change and Adaptation in a French Noble Family. Journal of Modern History, 46 : D 1001-38. REF, ERN, CESC, ITED 339. Wells, C.M. 1992, The Roman Empire, 2nd edition. Harvard University Press, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Wheatcroft, S. 1991. Crises and the Condition of the Peasantry in Late Imperial Russia. Peasant Economy, Culture and Politics of European Russia. Princeton University Press, Princeton, New Jersey. White, G.J. 2000. Restoration and Reform, 1153 to 1165. Recovery from War in England. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Wickham Crowley, TP 1997. Structural Theories of Revolution. Pages 38 to 72 in J. Foran. Editor, Theorizing Revolutions. Routledge, London. Wickham, C. 1981. Early Medieval Italy. Central Power and Local Society. 400 to 1000. Macmillan, London. Williams, P. 1995. The Later Tudors, England, 1547 to 1603. Clarendon Press, Oxford. Wood, J. B. 1980. The Nobility of the Election of Bayeux, 1463 to 1666. Princeton University Press, Princeton, New Jersey. Wood, J. W. 1998. A Theory of Pre-Industrial Population Dynamics, with discussion. Current Anthropology, 39:99-135. Wright, N. 1998. Knights and Peasants. The 100 Years' War in the French Countryside. Boydell Press, Rochester, New York. Wrigley, E. A. R. S. Davis, J. E. Uppen, and R. S. Schofield. 1997. English Popular Tea and History from Family Reconstruction, 1580 to 1837. Cambridge University Press, Cambridge. Wrigley, E. A. and R. S. Schofield, 1981. The Population History of England, 1541 to 1871. A Reconstruction. Harvard University Press, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Yushko, A. A. 1991. The Moscow land in the 9th through the 14th centuries. Moskovskaya Zemlya Naimi Vivekov. Nauka, Moscow. Zayonchkovsky, A. 1938. The World War of 1914 to 1918. Volume. Вторая мировая война 1914-1918 годов. Tom 2. Gosvenizdат, Moscow. Zayonchkovsky, P.A. 1963. Abolition of Serfdom in Russia. Odmena krepostnego prawa w Rosji. Prosveshchenie, Moscow. Zelena, Y. 2003. Smallpox and the Disintegration of the Roman Economy after 165 AD. Roman Empire. PhD dissertation, Columbia University, New York. Zhao, W. and S. Zhe, 1988. China's Population History. Zhongguo Renkoshi. People's Publisher, Peking. Zimin, A. A. 1960. The Reforms of Ivan the Terrible. Reformy Ivana Groznogo. Izdatelstvo Socialno-ekonomiczej literatury, Moscow. Zimin, A. A. 1972. Russia on the Threshold of the Modern Period. Rosja na poroge nowego vremeni. Nauka, Moscow. This page intentionally left blank. Index. Page numbers in italics refer to tables or figures in the text. Abandoned villages. Sealand, abandoned Boris Godunov, Tsar of Russia, 255 to 57 Abel, W, 1 to 2 Borsch, S, 12 Agincourt, Battle of 17, 137 to 39 Bozerup, E, 7 Agricultural Productivity. Sea-carrying Bourbon Cycle, France, 143 Capacity Boyers, 247, 249, 266 Alexander V, Tsar of Russia, 285 Brodel F, 125, 141, 145 Alexander II, Tsar of Russia, 282, 284-85 Brenner R 3-4, 12287 Brunt PA 180-81, 183, 189, 189, 212 Alexander III, Tsar of Russia, 285 Brusilov, AA 298 Allen, RC 93, 102, 110, 144 Business persons. See Merchants Non-Business Alston, R 230 Persons Americas. Exploitation of. See New World Exploitation. Caesar Julius, 193, 200, 205, 207, 209, 228. Anne, Empress of Russia, 269, 271 Caligula, 217, 238 Antonine Plague, 233-34, 238 Cambridge Group for the History of Popu, Antoninus Pius, 218 Latian and Social Structure, 89 Antony Mark 200, 205 Campbell BMS, 38 Aristotle, 5 Caracalla, 236-37 Artisanship and Handcrafts, 7, 10, 34, 273 In Carpentier, A. 116-17, 129 France, 120. In Russia, 246, 258 carrying capacity, 6 to 7, 16, 29, 30. In China, Astrakhan Kanate, 18, 251,300. In England, 18, 76, 79, 81 to 82, 89. Atticus, T. Pomponius, 207-8, 102, 107-10. In France, 116-17, 131. Augustus, 205-8, 225-26, 228. See also 142, 147, 149 to 50, 170 to 72. Of Rome, 215 to Octavian 16. In Russia, 18, 244, 275-76, 300 Catherine II, Empress of Russia, 272, 300 Bagnol, 230. Charles IV, King of France, 127 Baratier, E. 140. Charles V, King of France, 27 to 28, 127 to 28. Basil II, Grand Prince of Moscow, 241, 247. Charles VI, King of France, 27, 65, 135, 137. Basil III, Grand Prince of Moscow, 247, 249. Charles VII, King of France, 27, 137-38. Basin T, 16, 130, 148. Bastard feudalism, 13, 66. Charles VIII, King of France, 148 to 49. Bean, JMW, 71. Shelnokov, MV, 297. Bake, W, 173. China, 5, 17, 19, 300, 310-11. Beloch, J, 213. Church bureaucracies. C. Clergyberta, M, 140. Cicero, 193. Bifurcation points, 12, 18. Civil wars, 15, 18, 20, 27 to 28, 34. C. Also birth rates. C. Reproductive rates, socio-political instability, Black Death epidemic, 3 to 4, 12, 35, 60 to 64. Clark, G, 38, 79, 122, 142, 234. Claudius, 217, 225-26. Bois, G, 4, 123-24, 156. Clergy, 13. In England, 57, 61, 83 to 85. In Boissier, P, 130. Bonny, R, 145. France, 145. Var, Dex, 342. Climatic influences 6, 18, 26, 29 on N depression phases 17 to 19, 21, 23, 33 to 34. In England 35 to 36, 69 to 77, 101-7. In France, Gland 78-79, 102-3, 107. On France 103, 154-55. On Russia 103, 256, 111, 129-41, 169-74. Of Rome 211-12, 236-38 Clodius, 228 coin hoards, 31, 307-9. In England 46-47. De Sanctis G, 196 Durbanization. See urbanization/86, 88. In France 114-15, 145. In Rome 145, 185-86, 204, 209, 221-24. In Russia, Durbanization DeWald, J, 156, 158-59, 164, 248-49. Colbert, J.B., 154, 160, 173 diminishing returns. Law of 1, 8, 117, 123 Dio, 206, 234 Commodus, 218, 220, 233, 236 commoners, 8 to 11, 20. In England 43, 84. Diocletian, 212 disease. See epidemics in France 134, 151, 167. In Rome 176, 178, 182, 195, 224-25, 234, 238. See also disintegrative trends 20, 27, 33 to 34, 303. See also specific phases, e.g., crisis phases. Peasants' Conflict of the Orders, Rome, 176 Dob, M3, 10 Domesday Book, 36 Constantine, Grand Duke of Russia, 282 consuls, 195 to 99, 231-33 Domitian, 218, 220, 226, 233 Dow Jones Industrial Average, 25 Consumption Patterns, 7, 15, 33. For elites 3, 10 to 11, 30, 44, 58, 71, 89, 94, 103, 194. Dowries 164, 165-66. Drusus, Livius the Younger, 204269, 279, 305. In England 40, 44, 58, 70 to 71, 78, 89, 94, 102-3. In France 122. For dueling 95, 152, 305 Duncan Jones R, 217, 230 peasants, 7, 40, 70, 78, 102, 122, 242-43, 251, 264. In Rome 194. In Russia 242-Dunning C, 244 Dupaquier J, 1744, 246, 251, 258, 264, 269, 275-76, 278, 279 Duplessis J, 114 Durnovo P, N, 293-94 Contamine Philippe 17, 114, 123, 132, 141, 144 Dyer C, 17, 52 to 54, 56 to 57, 71 Crafts. C. Artisanship and Handcrafts Crassus, Marcus Licinius, 204 to 5 Economic Trends, 7, 34, 304. In England 37 to 40, 81 to 83, 87 to 92, 99 to 100. In France Crawford M, 31, 185, Cressy, Battle of 124, 128, 141, 112, 117-20, 143, 149-53. Of Rome 189-90, 192-94, 194, 209, 216, 229-31, 238. In credentialing crises. See student populations, Crimean War, 1853 to 56, 282 Russia, 241 to 42, 244 to 47, 254, 261 to 66, 268, 274 to 76, 295 to 97 crime waves, 14 to 15. In England 68 to 70, 73, 75 to 76, 95 to 96. In France 125. In Russia education trends. See student populations Edward I, King of England, 45-79, 256-57, 285-87, 293 crisis phases, 18, 20 to 21, 23, 33 to 34, 139. Edward II, King of England, 46, 67, 71, 79. Edward III, King of England, 45, 65 to 67, 165, 303 to 4. In England 58 to 69, 97 to 101. In France 111, 121-28, 143, 153-56. Of 72-73, 79, 126-27. Edward IV, King of England, 75 Rome, 178, 189, 201-8, 211, 219, 233-36. In Russia 240-41, 252-58, 287-99. Edward V, King of England, 46, 75 Egypt, 12, 25, 229-30, 234, 238, 300 to 303 crop failures. In England 59, 100. In Russia, the lead dynamics 17 to 18, 20, 30, 304-5, 313. Consumption patterns and 3, 10-11, 44, 250, 252, 256, 259, 277 currency policies. Of England 91, of Rome 58, 71, 89, 94, 103, 194, 269, In England, 1740 to 44, 55 to 58, 61 to 66, 71 to 199 to 200, 218, 220, 229 to 30. Of Russia, 241, 266, 269, 272, 294, 72, 78, 83 to 85, 90 to 91, 93 to 95, 98, 103-6. In France, 112-14, 120-21, 123-24, 131-35, 138-41, 144-45, 148, 151-53, 156. David II, King of Scotland, 65 Decemberist Rising, 1825, 286, 158-69, 172-73. Ibn Khaldun Cycles and 23-25, Overproduction and 1118-19, Delict 190 Den Holmyong, North 56, 64, 78, 120-21, 141, 199, 203, 205, 207-9, Handy X 340 231-34, 255, 281, 305, Patronage and 89-91, 92. Protective settlement patterns in 76, public building in 44, 87, 89, Re 13, 96, 98, 152-53, of Rome 176, 178, 181 to 84, 188, 190, 194 to 99, 206-9, 216-productive/replacement rates in 42-43, 56, 61, 72, 87, 100 to 101, 104. Social mobile 17, 225-27, 231-34, 238. In Russia, 247-48, 251, 254-55, 258-60, 266-70, 278-80 in 41, 57, 71 to 72, 98, 103 to 4. Social structures in 40 to 44, 83 to 85, sociopolitical 81, 287 to 88, 291 to 92. See also surplus extraction relationships instability in 37 to 38, 45 to 49, 65, 67 to 69, 72 to 80, 86 to 87, 97 to 100, 105 to 6. Stagflation elite incomes 10. In England 17, 53, 55 to 58, 62 to 63, 65, 71, 78, 90, 98, 113-14. In phases in 49 to 58, 91 to 98, state finances in 37, 44 to 46, 54, 65 to 67, 72 to 77, 85 to 86, 94-France, 112-14, 132-33, 148, 161-65, 168-69, 172-73. In Rome, 194-95. In 99, 103. Student populations in 64, 94 to 95. Surplus extraction relationships in Russia, 259 to 60, 266 to 67. See also wages Elizabeth Empress of Russia, 269, 27150, 53-54, 98. Trade in 92 to 93. Urbanization in 54 to 55, 63 to 64, 77, 88 to 89, 92 to 93. Elizabeth I, Queen of England, 96, 105 England. Carrying capacity in 18, 76, 79, 98, 101 to 2. Wages in 38, 39, 40, 50, 57, 62 to 63, 70, 77, 88 to 91, 102, 106, 110, 81 to 82, 89, 102, 107 to 10. Clergy in 57, 61, 83 to 85. Climatic influences on 78 to 79. Wages, military, in 57 to 58, 64 to 65 entry fines, 50 to 51, 102 to 3, 107. Coin hoards in 46 to 47, 86, 88. Consumption patterns in 40, 44, 58. Epidemics 3 to 4, 7, 15, 17 to 18, 23, 29, 34. In England, 12, 35, 59 to 64, 79, 100 to 101, 70 to 71, 78, 89, 94, 102-3. Crime waves in 68 to 70, 73, 75 to 76, 95 to 96. Crisis phases in 107. In France, 122, 142, 147, 154-55. In Rome, 192, 211, 233 to 35, 238. In Russia, 58 to 69, 97 to 101. Crop failures in 59, 100. Currency policies of 91. Definitions of 240, 244, 45, 247, 252-53, 259, 284. Ermolov, A.S. 289. Cycles 4, 35, 81. Depression phases in 35 to 36, 69 to 77, 101 to 7. Economic trends in Eskin, UM, 250. Expansion phases 20, 22, 33 to 34. In N, 37 to 40, 81 to 83, 87 to 92, 99 to 100. Elite dynamics in 17, 40 to 44, 55 to 58, 61 to 66, 71 to gland, 47 to 49, 87 to 92, 107. In France, 111, 115-17, 119, 143, 147 to 49. Of Rome, 178, 72, 78, 83 to 85, 90 to 91, 93 to 95, 103 to 6. Entry finds in 50, 51. Epidemics in 12, 185-89, 211, 217, 224-29, 238. In Russia, 241 to 43, 258, 261 to 74, 335, 59 to 64, 79, 100 to 101, 107. Expansion phases in 47 to 49, 87 to 92, 107. Extinction rates. In England, 41 to 42, 71 to 72. In France, 135, 139 to 40. In Rome, 225 to rates in 41 to 42, 71 to 72. Famines in 62, 100. Fathers and sons cycles in 79 to 80, 26. See also mortality rates 106. Gentry in 83, 93 to 95, 103. Geopolitical environments of 79, 107. Incomes famines 7. In England 62, 100. In France 121 to 23, 130, 147, 154-55. In Russia 240, elite. In 17, 53, 55 to 58, 62 to 63, 65, 71, 78, 90, 98, 113 to 14. Intralight competition 245 to 46, 250, 252-53, 256-57, 259, 262, 264, 270, 273, 277, 284. In 66 to 67, 69, 75, 94 to 95, 98. Land abandonment in 37, 70, 76 to 77, 99. Land available farmers or fermiers. France, 144 to 45, 151 fathers and sons cycles, 27-28, 310-11. Inability in 13, 38, 60, 98. Land ownership in 44 to 45, 51, 54, 90 to 91, 94, 96, 99, 103. England 79 to 80, 106. Of Rome 176, 203. In Russia 285 to 87. Land rents in 50, 62, 90, 92, 94, 102. Land to peasant ratios in 47, 54, 70, 78. February Revolution 1917, 297-99, 301-2. Fedor, Tsar of Russia 254-5591. Litigation in 95. Living standards in 70, 90, 92. Misery index in 36, 77, 82, 88. Fedorov
VA 283 feedback effects 14, 22, 28, 32, 169, 98, money supply in 91, mortality rates in 59, 61 to 62, 100 to 101, patronage in 13, food prices. See prices food riots 8296-97, 30196, 98. Peasants, commoners in 40, 43, 50 to 54, 57 to 62, 69 to 70, 84. Population die. Fourquin, G, 130 France. Artisanship, handcrafts in 120. Car Namics in 35 to 40, 47, 49 to 54, 58 to 60, 69 to 70, 81 to 83, 87 to 92, 100 to 103, 108 to 10, 303 to Ryan capacity in, 116 to 17, 131, 142, 147, 149-50, 170-72, clergy in, 145, climatic 4, prices in, 38, 39, 47, 49-50, 60, 62, 83, INDE, X, 344.
France, Comte, Gallienus, 220, 237 generation cycles. See Fathers and Sons influences on 103, 154 to 55, coin hoard cycles in 114 to 15, 145. Consumption patterns in Gentry in England, 83, 93 to 95, 103, in 122, crime waves in 125. Crisis phases in France, 121, in Russia, 247, 249, 254-55, 111, 121-28, 143, 153-56. Definition of 257, 266-69, 278 to 81 cycles for 111, 141, 143. Depression, geopolitical environments, 1822-29. Of phases in 111, 129 to 41, 169 to 74. Eco, England, 79, 107. Of Russia, 283 nomic trends in 112, 117 through 20, 143, 149-Germany, 107, 242-53. Elite dynamics in 112-114, 120-21. Gesta Stephanie, 37, 123-24, 131-35, 138-41, 144-45, 148. Given Wilson C, 56, 151-53, 156, 158-69, 172-73. Epidemics, Glyn Dwarua Uprising, 1400, 63, 68, 76 inches, 122, 142, 147, 154-55. Expansion Golina, VM, 290 phases in, 111, 115-17, 119, 143, 147-49. Goldstone, J, 5, 8, 91, 94, 97 to 98. 107, 174. Extinction rates in 135, 139 to 40. Famines 294, 306 in, 121 to 23, 130, 147, 154-55. Gentry in, Gorfunkel, AH, 263121. Incomes, Elite, in, 112-14, 132-33, Gracchus Gaius 193, 203148, 161-65, 168-69, 172-73. Intralite Gracchus, Tiberius Sempronius, 202 competition in, 123, 125-27, 152, 165, grain prices. See prices 173, land abandonment in 131, 148, land grain reserves 33, 59, 252, 256, 266, 297 availability in 115-16, 119, 149. Land Greenberg, J, 235 prices in 118, 150. Land rents in 119. Grig, D, 50, 109, 150, 163. Land to peasant ratios in 150. Living standards in 147. Mortality rates Hadrian 218 in 147 to 48, 169. Patronage Inn 152 to 53, Hallam HE 36 37 to 38, Peasants Commoners Inn 118 122 to 23, Hannawalt B 68 131 134 144-45 151 167, Population Hanfate Sioux 5 Dynamics Inn 103 112-13 115-22 129-Hall KW 21730 141 143 147-51 153-55 169-74, Hatcher J 3637-38 60-61 108 Prices Inn 112-13 117-18 131 141 143, Heights of Individuals 264-65 304-5 Protective Settlement Patterns in 120 Henri II, King of France 152 131, Replacement Rates in 115-16 133-Henri IV, King of France 152-53 156-34, Social Mobility in 132-33 139-40, Henry II, King of England 37-38 47 57 151 159 161 165-69, Social Structures Henry III, King of England 40 in 112-14 141 144-45, Socio-Political Henry IV, King of England 68, Instability in 114 125-28 130-31 135-Henry V, King of England 65 72 80 38 141 145 147-48 155-57 161 169 137-39 173, Stagflation Phases in 111 117-21, Henry VI, King of England 46 72-73 75 143 149-53, State Finances in 117 121 80 137 124-25 127-28 136 138 145-46 152 to Henry VII, King of England 95-53 173, Surplus Extraction Relationships Hilton RH 57 in 123, Trade in 120, Urbanization in Hollingsworth TH 42 118-20 148, Wages in 117 122-23 131, Hopkins K 179-80 189 195-96 198 143-44 147 151 163 174, Wages 200 231-32, Military in 117-18 128 153 Hoskins WG 90 franc, King of France 152 100 rolls 50 Francois II, King of France 152 100 Years War 15-16 63 65-66 franc, T 218 114 122 125-27 130 Freeland, Sealand Availability, Fryer BW 212 234 Ibn Khaldun 5 19, Fronde France 143 145 153-56, Ibn Khaldun Cycles 23-25 Ideological Conflicts 14 34 171-73 INDEX 345. Incomes. See Elite Incomes. Wages, land rents 2 7 98. In England 50 62 90 92 94 102. In France 119 150 163. In Military Industrial Revolution 81 107 143 282 Rome 230-31. In Russia 242 244 254 254 264 269-70 276 Infanticide Infant Mortality 16 101 to 206 Instability Indexes 145-46 Land to Peasant Ratios. In England 47 54 70 78 91. In France 150. In Russia 242-Integrative Trends 2033-34 303. See also specific phases, e.g. expansion phases 43, 245, 259, 266. Langdon, J. 37 intercycle phases 21, 33 to 34 lawsuits. See litigation trends interrelate competition 11, 13, 19, 34, 305. Lawyers. See professional persons in England 66 to 67, 69, 75, 94 to 95, 98. In Lee, J.S. 310. France 123, 125-27, 152, 165, 173. In Lepidus, Marcus Aemilius 205, 207 Rome 195 to 201, 203 to 4, 231-33. In Leroy-Ladurie, E. 2, 4, 6, 77, 131, 154, Russia 250, 252-53, 169, 174 Ireland, 15 Lewitt T. 213, 215 Ivan III, Grand Prince of Moscow 242 to 43, Licino Sextian Laws 178, 189, 247, 249 Lindert, P.H. 85 Ivan IV, Tsar of Russia 249-52, 266 Linton, A. 145 Literacy 64, 94 Jacquard, J. 174 Litigation Trends 13, 95, 250, 305 James the Fair, King of England 96 Living Standards 10. In England 70, 90, 92. James II, King of England 106. In France 147. In Rome 194. In Russia John II, King of France 27, 65, 73, 124 to 264. See also Consumption Patterns 25, 127 Livonian War 1557-82, 245, 251, 253. Jones, R. 212259. Jongman, W. 190, 192 Livy, 188 Loads. D. 98 Kazan Kanate, 18, 251. Locasio, East, 209. Keene, Durham, 54 Lawsine, Marie-Thérèse, 133 to 34 Kerridge, East, 93 Louis VI, King of France, 111 Kievan Cycle, Russia, 240 to 41 Louis IX, King of France, 117, 121, 124. King G. 85 Louis VIII, King of France, 126 Kaiser, E. 145 Louis the Found, King of France, 148 Kolesnikov, SP, 264 Louis the Faithan, King of France, 156 Coleman, North Side, 250 Louis XIV, King of France, 103, 143, 145, Kolacheva, East Island, 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 103, 143, 145,
Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 143, 145, Kolocheva, East Island, 103, 245, 253, 152, 154, minus 55, 160, 173 to 74, Kondratiev Cycles, 25, 28 Kopanev, AGA, 243, 261 Macedonian Wars, 184 Krzyzanich, Y, 263 Maghreb, 5, 19, 23 to 25, Malthus, TR, C. Malthusian Ricardian land, abandoned, in England, 37, 70, 76 to 77, Theory 99, in France, 131, 148, in Rome, 214 to Malthusian Ricardian theory, 1 to 4, 6, 32, 49, 15, in Russia, 241, 245, 253, 77, 81 land availability, 33, in England, 13, 38, 60, Mamluks, 12, 25, 98, in France, 115-16, 119, 149, in Marcus Aurelius, 218, 233, 236 Rome, 224 to 25, in Russia, 240, 243, 247-Marius, Gaius, 203-4, 48, 258-59, 261-62, 277 Marxist theory, 3-4 land occupancy, 213-15, Mary, Queen of England, 105 land ownership, 34, in England, 44 to 45, 51, mass mobilization potential, 97 to 98, 54, 90 to 91, 94, 96, 99, 103, in Russia, 245 Matthew effect, 11 land prices, 7, 33, in France, 118, 150, in McKevity, C, 212 McFarlane, KB, 41, 65 Rome, 230-31, INDEX, 346.
Merchants / business persons, 84, 145, 182, Pertinax, 220 Peru, 16 Mertes, K, 66 migrations, 15, 77. See also Urbanization Peter F, Tsar of Russia, 103, 262, 264, 268, 271, 273, 300 Durbanization Milyakov, PN, 288-89, Peter III, Tsar of Russia, 269 Petrarch, 130 Mironov, BN 263-64 269 276 Misery Index 36 77 82 88 98 Petraeus, P 266 Florm, HG 233 Monasteries, Dissolution of 90 to 91, 94 Monetarist Theory, 2 Philip II Augustus, King of France 114 117, Philip IV King of France 114 121, 124 Mortality Rates 7 15 17 to 18, in England 59 61 to 62, 100 to 101, in France 147 to 48, Philip VI King of France 121 123 to 24 Plato, 569 in Rome, 206 in Russia, 244 253 256. See also Extinction Rates Plebeians 176 178 Poitiers, Battle of 17 124 128 141, Polybius 184 189 Nero, 217 220 225 26 238 New World Exploitation 29 89 91 Polygyny 10 10 23 Pompeius Gnaeus Magnus Pompey the Nicholas Learn Tsar of Russia 278 282 284 285 Great 200 204-5 Pompey Sextus 205 Nicholas II Tsar of Russia 289-90 293 Normandy 118 129-30 133 137 156 Popper K 312 Popular Uprisings 8 11 14 Mupatananga. See also 158 to 69 Geopolitical Instability Population Dynamics 1 4 6 to 8 18 20 25 to O'Brien P 45 67 Occupation Index 213-15 26 29 to 30 33 303 to 4 313, in England 35 to 40 47 49 to 54 58 to 60 69 to 70 81 to 83 Octavian 200 205 207 224. See also Augustus 87 to 92 100 to 103 108 to 10 303 to 4, in France 103 112-13 115-22 129-30 Olearius A 263 Ordinance of Labourers, England 62-63 141 147-51 153-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155-55 155 155 ломено 55 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 155
See also surplus extraction relationships. Ramsey, J.H., 45 Razin, Stepan, 267 People's Will, 281, 287 Baroy, E, 112 rents. See land rents, I index 347.
Replacement rates in England 42 to 43, 56. Wages in 193, 235. Wages military in 192 to 93, 218-20, 22961, 7287, 104. In France 115 to 16, 133 to Rosenstein, N 183, 190 to 9134. In Rome 207 rural settlement fluctuations 33. See also reproductive rates 7, 15 to 16, 23 to 24, 100 to urbanization/deurbanization 101, 206. Russell J.C. 3642. Ricardo D. C. Malthusian, Ricardian, Russia. Artisanship handcrafts in 246, 258. Theory carrying capacity in 18, 244, 275-76. Richard II, King of England, 46, 66, 67 to 68, 300. Climatic influences on 103, 256. 72, 79 coin hoards in 248 to 49. Consumption pat. Richard III, King of England, 46, 75 turns in 242 to 44, 246, 251, 258, 264, 269. Rogers, T, 1275-76, 278, 279. Crime waves in 256-Romano, R, 157, 285-87, 293. Crisis phases in 241. Rome, 16 to 17. Carrying capacity of 215 to 16, 252 to 58, 287 to 99, 300 to 303. Crop failures, coin hoards in 185-86, 204, 209,